Hey everyone, I'm Dawn Rains, Chief Policy and Strategy Officer at Treehouse. I've been here at Treehouse about 11 years, and I oversee legislative policy and strategy for the organization. I'm super excited to be here today with my friend Jen Moran from Carter Subaru. We're here to celebrate Carter Subaru's Share the Love campaign and talk about investing in the community and how essential our community is to supporting the work we do here at Treehouse. Jen, it's so fun to be here with you today. Jen and I have been friends for about 10 years. I have to admit that I have purchased at least 2 Subarus from Carter Subarus, awesome Subarus. But Jen, can you introduce yourself to our audience today?
Yeah, thanks, Don. It's great to be here as well. Like Don said, my name is Jen Moran. I'm the executive manager for Carter Auto Group. I've been with the Auto Group for almost 13 years. Just really excited to be on this call and talk a little bit about our partnership and all the things that we get to do together in the community.
Awesome. Can you tell us a little bit more about the Subaru Share the Love campaign?
Yeah, so the Share the Love campaign started back in 2008 in partnership with Subaru of America. And towards the end of November and through December, every vehicle that's purchased at a Subaru dealership, $250 is donated to one of 4 national charities. And then I can't remember what year, but we were allowed to pick hometown charities. And of course, our very first choice was Treehouse. I think it's been about 5 years, Don, correct me if I'm wrong, that we have partnered with Treehouse during the Share the Love. And I think our first couple years, our donations were, awesome, probably in the 40, 50,000, and we've grown as high as almost 100,000 one year. So it's the recognition around our partnership and how important Treehouse is has really grown within our own Subaru community and our customers and our staff.
Well, it's so exciting to be able to partner with your team to not only generate, really essential support, charitable support for the work that we do, but also to just spread the word about the work that we're doing and how much youth in foster care need the community support. So yeah, we're so grateful for that. I know yesterday you all did a little socially distanced celebration parade to present this year's check to Treehouse. Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Yeah, well, in the past, we've had quite a celebration at one of our favorite wineries, Patterson Cellars in Woodinville, and for obvious reasons, we couldn't do the same thing this year. So we decided to do a drive-by parade and have the check presentation. Of course, we were socially distanced and all masked up, but we had over 15 Subarus in the parade and employees, and I know my family was there, and really to just celebrate this donation and the partnership. And it was a lot of fun. It was really wet and cold, but you didn't notice once it started. And I think I liked it just as much as our previous celebrations. It obviously very different, but it was warming. I had tears in my eyes, and it was great.
It's so awesome. I think we're going to have to actually now add parades to all birthdays, all check presentations. I mean, yeah, you've kind of taken it to the next level. So
yeah, for sure.
Carter Subaru has partnered with Treehouse for a long time, since 2005. Can you tell us a little bit about why Carter chooses to support Treehouse and for so many years?
Yeah, it's really a no-brainer. It's important for Carter, the family, to be involved with organizations in the community that really, support, causes and individuals that affect our, future. And obviously, these kids that you guys are supporting deserve all the resources anyone else does. And it just, warms my heart to see. I am a, Facebook fan or whatever on your site, and I read your stories, and obviously knowing you and going to events, and just seeing the work you've done and the progress you've made with the graduation rate. And, it's important that we're involved in a way that we can provide whatever support we can, so you guys can do the work that you need to do. And, these kids are part of the health of our community, and they can't be forgotten. And so it's simple. It really matters to be involved with organizations like yours. And it's been at, the forefront of this company since it started in 1960. The Wade Carter, the current owner's father, was really involved in the Boys and Girls Club and anything in the Ballard community, because that's where they started with Volkswagen. And it just continued on with his kids and through today. So it's, the old Simon Sinek, people don't buy what you sell or what you do, they buy why you do it. And if we can be a part of something bigger than us and contribute to those causes that do matter, then that's how we're going to present ourselves with our customers and our community. So
absolutely, and we are so grateful for it. We Treehouse really relies on charitable support from our community. We about 75% of our budget comes from donations from individuals, businesses, foundations. We could not do this work without our community. We always talk about the fact that, youth and foster care, these are the kids for whom the state has stepped in to become parent. And in some ways, all of us are contributing and to making sure that they have the support that they need to grow up to be successful contributing members of our community. It's almost like we have a special responsibility to these kids because they don't have the family support that they really need to thrive. So,
yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about how you think about Carter's community involvement and philanthropy as integral to your business strategy?
Yeah, I think that we have a lot of choices on how we can present ourselves in our community. And, there's advertising and, partnering with different groups or sports teams, and all that is great. But I think that the more you can be involved with organizations that you can support and that for us, our customers are supporting and get behind, the better that is for our position, whether it's, against our competitors, other Subaru dealers, or just different automakers, for sure. So it is the biggest part of our spend. We do obviously some traditional marketing, but most of it is, through partnerships like this and, our other hometown charity, King County Search and Rescue, because we have all of our community and customers, they are supporters of organizations just like that. So it just makes sense, and people can really get behind a company when that's their mission.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Before we go forward, just in case the audience has any questions, please feel free to pop them in the chat or in the go ahead and ask. We would love to answer any questions that you have. Jen, I just want to say what a critical time Carter's the Share the Love campaign support comes right now, in the middle of this COVID-19 crisis. I would say the programs that we provide are even more essential than they are in regular times. So I'm really happy to share, that as soon as the school closures happened and really the social distancing started, the stay home, stay healthy order started, our team really sprung into action in a variety of ways. Our education specialists working directly with youth in schools, first of all, just checked in to make sure every young person had their basic needs met. Did they know how to access the food support that school districts were offering, the other community supports that families might need? And then second, made sure that they had everything that they need to successfully engage in school right now. So we were making sure all of our youth had laptops, had internet access, had all the devices and supports that they needed, made sure they're getting school packets, engaging and connecting with school. You know, our store where kids come shopping for clothing, school supplies, books, we're now doing socially distanced drop-offs of material goods, and particularly important for kids who are first coming into foster care and might need to be completely kind of outfitted. You know, our just-in-time funding team is still providing support for those really critical basic need and kind of emergency supports at the moment. You know, so many of the extracurricular activities that youth have been participating in are on hold for the time being, but we've repurposed some of those funds to do things like pay for rental assistance and grocery cards for our older youth, making sure that all the young people have what they need to successfully participate in school at this time. So I could not say more about what a critical time the support comes, and we are so grateful.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. I actually have a question to throw out there, and I get asked this a lot. What can the community do to support Treehouse? You know, not just now, but going forward, and what does that look like if this continues? You know, especially the kids are homeschooled and are learning from home, virtual learning. You know, what can we do to continue to support you?
Absolutely. Well, first and foremost, we always will say we can always use everyone's charitable support. You know, keeping going during this time. You know, a lot of us have a lot of uncertainty given the uncertain economic times that we're seeing, and so that charitable support is always so welcome and so needed. So I'll lead with that. If you want to stay up to date on what we're doing, you can always sign up for the Treehouse e-news. There will always be lots of opportunities to get involved, and emergent needs that come up. I think it's a good way to kind of stay up to date. Close to my heart, I have to say, you can also sign up to advocate on behalf of youth in foster care with our legislators. We have an online advocacy tool where we are advocating for the needs of our young people during this time. And we anticipate that we'll have, you know, there may be a legislative special session coming up where we will be ensuring that youth in foster care and their needs are being addressed. So we'd love people to sign up for our online advocacy tool. The other thing just that we're doing different right now is we are providing online tutors for our virtual tutors for our young people. You know, a lot of our youth are struggling because they're not getting that one-on-one support from educators on a regular basis, and really can use the extra support of, you know, kind of learning content. And so we've done a couple rounds of training now for virtual volunteers, virtual tutoring volunteers. So that's another way that people can get involved.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I don't know if anyone has any questions. We'll pause just a minute to see if we get any. Hopefully, once we get a little further in our phased reopening of the state, you know, we'll also be able to resume taking you know, donations for the store and that kind of thing. Right now we're kind of on hold in that arena, but we'll certainly be announcing anything that we are able to do via the e-news. Yeah. It's a good way for people.
Great.
Well, all right, everyone. What inspired, we got a getting question about what inspired both of you to support Treehouse. I can start. I think Jen's talked a little bit about that, but you know, I've spent my whole career in the nonprofit sector. Luckily, I am someone who identified early what I wanted to do, and have been lucky to spend my life hopefully making a positive impact on my community through my work that I get paid to do, which is lovely. Not everyone has that opportunity. But I think the thing that really inspired me about working for Treehouse is that I am a former foster parent, and I understand really firsthand both what the experience of being in foster care is like for kids and for young people. I had two little guys who were with me for about just a little over a year. They were 3 years old and 17 months old when they came to me. I will never, ever forget the day I went to a daycare center and picked them up and took them home, and in that very long car ride home, which was really not all that long, but it felt like an eternity. The 3-year-old asked me, when am I going to get to see my mom? And I didn't have a great answer to his question. But I did everything I could to, wrap around them with love and support. And luckily, they're in their situation, foster care worked exactly the way it's supposed to, which is that it was temporary and they were able to go back to their birth family. And I'm happy to say more than 10 years later, they are still with their family and things are going well. And I am grateful to have been part of their journey. And so when the opportunity to work with Treehouse came up, I just knew that it was the work that my heart wanted to do. And I've been very grateful to have this opportunity for as long as I've had to make an impact in the lives of children, youth, and foster care in our state.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love your story. I have, I wasn't in the foster care system by any means, but I was a kid that needed community to help me get through my childhood. And my father was a foster kid, and I have 2 nephews that are being raised by family members. So while not in the foster system, I really understand the need for community support, and what you guys are doing to give every kid a chance that any other kid has is so important. I wouldn't be sitting here today if I didn't have the support of organizations and other people in my life. So it's a little bit personal, and every other thing that I mentioned earlier as well. So.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much. And I think you're absolutely right. We think about our work as leveling the playing field for kids in foster care. These kids come into foster care through no fault of their own. They deserve every opportunity to thrive in the same way that all of their peers do. And that's what we try to do. Whether it's through education support or other essential supports that we can provide, we try very hard to kind of level the playing field for those young people. So I just thanks everyone for being with us, and thanks to Jen and Carter Subaru for their incredible support of our work and for being here today. Treehouse will be wrapping up National Foster Care Month Facebook live streams next week. Thanks for joining us for so many of those. Next Wednesday will be Jessa and Yael talking about financial and resource services. And then Friday, we'll be hearing from education specialists Reggie and Roland. They are hilarious together, so you really, really need to tune into that one. So thanks so much for tuning in. See you next time. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.